everyone's favourite upcoming Resident Evil title, Resident Evil Survival Unit, gets a cinematic trailer.
Yes, I guess kind of unexpected because they did the showcasey thing not too long ago, and then all of a sudden the cinematic trailer comes out a few weeks following that. I don't know if there's a lot to say about this. They obviously bigged up the fact that they did like a music crossover thing with this Japanese artist, Queen Bee. It's, a cinematic trailer for a mobile game. That's kind of always funny to me because it doesn't represent the game at all, but it's a kind of fun, high-octane visual trailer of a bunch of Raccoon City characters fighting off monsters. And I guess a few fun tidbits everyone really jumped on. Tyrant R from Outbreak showing up for a split second in the outro of things, and we get to see the alligator, or the crocodile, whatever you want to call it. It's very rarely get to see that in remake Resident Evil verse getting blown apart by the finger by Jill Valentine. James, any thoughts on Survival Unit's cinematic trailer and the man and his laptop?
Oh man, it's so funny. I need everybody to just pause it on that scene where he has that laptop in his hand and he just points. It's so anime, you know? You'd expect that in an isekai like kind of adventure, which I think this is what this app game is going to be. It's going to be an isekai Resident Evil. You are going to be in the shoes of not Ark Thompson. Yeah, I will definitely give this game a try, but I do not think I will like it. It's just, I think I said this before, but it just gives Raid Shadow Legends vibes.
Yeah, I get that.
And like, I made a joke in the server about, people not looking up because everybody seems to be on top of buildings, and like you got the villain coming down. It looks very Final Fantasy, which makes sense with who the artist is. And yeah, does it fit Resi? I don't know about that. Does it fit the theme? I'm not sure about that. But does this app fit Resi as well? Not really. I think it's literally meant to be there to fund future Capcom endeavors. So yay, more games.
It's funny, really, because obviously we've got Requiem and the movie coming, but this will be here before all of those. So this is probably in theory, is going to come sooner. And they have been continuing to like update socials and the website and stuff. So it's certainly on its way. It's also worth mentioning, speaking of updating the website, there was an update this week with some new info on it. Not about gameplay. We still know very little about what exactly the gameplay actually entails, but there was a whole selection on the characters with a little bio for characters, including a new character called Kate Anderson, who is Raccoon City Hall's Urban Infrastructure Department lead or something. So she's presumably like an NPC that's going to help you with your base building or whatever. But then, of course, we had the selection of returning characters from all over the series. And I will say, for what it's worth, whatever this game is, a part of me is slightly excited about it in the sense that this could actually be a silly, non-canon Resident Evil celebration in a way that RE-verse wasn't. The now, rest in peace, RE-verse. Because the website features Leon, Claire, Jill, Carlos, obviously a lot of these in the trailer, Ada, Mikhail, Marvin, Becca, and she's joined by Tyrone, which I don't think we knew before from Resistance, so it's kind of shocking to see Resistance characters, and kind of clever because they've confirmed that this is non-canon. Alongside Murphy Seeker, Alyssa, Mark from Outbreak, which I don't think we knew that, so more Outbreak in there. Another surprising one was Catherine Warren, of course, who's the mayor's daughter in Resident Evil 2, who is part of Ghost Survivors, another non-canon story. And, of course, Barry, Tyrell, Kendo, and Brad. And then to be updated, so there'll be further things from that. So who knows? You said Ark at the beginning there. It's entirely possible that Ark appears in this. It's entirely possible anyone appears in this. So that's kind of fun, I guess, in a goofy way. Jordan, how are you feeling about Survival Unit at the moment?
Not much of anything of it as a game, because there's just not a whole lot out about it. I suppose in about 15 years time, I look forward to it being on a top 5 list of Resident Evil games you can't play anymore. One thing I'm really curious about, though, is like, they're kind of bringing in all of these characters or enemies or bosses from sort of spin-off titles or, other stuff that's maybe, less canon and stuff like that. and a lot of these characters are older and maybe don't necessarily have up-to-date artwork or art assets, and I'm curious to what extent they might create that kind of stuff for them, especially because obviously based on the trailer, it's a heavy slant on the remake universe era of the games. And so that would be very interesting to see some of those characters who are kind of going as far back as the PS1 or PS2 getting that kind of makeover. I feel like I'm being a little bit optimistic there because it's a mobile game. So I don't know what this is going to look like and to what extent they're going to be creating sort of like whole new art assets for it, particularly when they already have so many art assets from the recent remake games. So yeah, curious about that. And the game, it'll exist. I will exist. It'll exist. We may not necessarily be on the same plane, but yeah, we'll occupy Earth at the same time. That's pretty cool.
To your point, the Barry Burton art on the website is almost like a redraw. He looks like he does in Remake 1, but with, the game's kind of stylized kind of design to it. It'll be interesting to see, because obviously it very clearly is going to have a bit of a gacha element. So I imagine there's going to be not just characters, but probably costumes as well, which, again, could be a fun celebration thing. And, yeah, it could be a way to bring back loads of weird and wacky stuff from even the early games and see what modern remake Carlos, because that's the one they're going to pick, looks like in a classic Carlos costume, or insert X character with Y costume here. Steve, how are you feeling about Resident Evil SU?
Pardon? Right, so I'm not the biggest mobile gamer. I gave Tekken a go. I enjoyed it for what it was. I appreciated the fact, and I still appreciate the fact that it throws in these things that are like niche Resident Evil things or Dino Crisis things and content along that line. And since I'm rubbish at card games, I'm open to the idea of it being like some kind of more group community PvE thing where you build your base and you do that. So as a game, theoretically, I'll give it a crack. I'm more excited than just the sheer fact they are, like everyone's saying, pulling things from here, there, and everywhere in the Resident Evil universe as some kind of member berry Skinner box. Yeah. There is a twisted part of me saying, "Ooh, I wonder what they'll do." And will we see, for example, the classic Carlos in modern Carlos in classic Carlos's costume, or say current era Jill in the pirate costume from Revelations and daft stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dumb things. I'm in it for the dumb things. Also, in this particular trailer, which was big pachinko machine energy, by the way, very, I can almost hit is it Stephanie Serna going, hit the lever from the Silent Hill thing. Anyway, why was Batman there? I jest, but for a brief moment I thought, oh my God, they're going for a Warner Brothers crossover straight out of the gate.
That's probably a thing that's going to happen in some form. Crossovers, I'm sure, mobile games and stuff. Resident Evil has crossed over into so many other mobile games, it wouldn't be surprising to see it happen the other way around this time, would it? But there you go.
See, that would be fun though if they can.
Totally.
If they can keep a homogenous style. I'm all right for the survival horror for Fortnitification of gacha games. I guess I don't have to play it except for the podcast.
Yeah, you do.